In this video, we will understand the concept of quadratic equations. Now, any equation in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Now, this is called a quadratic equation. Now, you have to remember one thing very clearly, that the coefficients a, b are the coefficients here and c is the constant. Now, it is very important that this a cannot be equal to 0. If b is 0, if c is 0, it's okay, because again the quadratic equation means the maximum power or the degree of the equation has to be 2. The moment this a becomes 0, it is no more a quadratic equation, it will become a linear equation. So usually in exam, in MCQs, basically you can get the questions like somewhere here which is a is equal to 0. In that case, it is not a quadratic equation. For a quadratic equation, it has to be in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0. Now, a quadratic equation can be solved in two ways. One is by a normal way of factorization, and other by the formula method. Now, you can apply any of the methods in case it is not mentioned in the exam, but in case it is mentioned, you have to go for that respective method only. Now, for factorization, we know a method of splitting the middle term, in which we split the middle term and we get the two brackets and we solve it. That is the method for factorization. We'll take question to solve that. When it comes to formula method, we have a formula which is called, now x is equal to, now ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is our normal or standard form of equation, where a is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is a constant. So when we use the formula method, x is equal to minus b plus or minus, because it is quadratic, it will have two values of x, that is why we have plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Let us take two questions and understand these methods. Now, this question we will solve using factorization method, and this question we will solve using the formula method. So let's take this one first. This is x square minus 10x minus 24. Now let's take a quick revision. You have to find out two numbers in such a way that when you add them, you should get minus 10x. This minus is important. So when you add them, you should get minus 10x, and when you multiply them, you should get minus 24x square. So let's try to think of such numbers. So we can have minus 12x and 2x. Now it would come to your mind that why can't we take 4 and 6, because 4x and 6x minus 4x minus 6x if you take. Now this minus 4 minus 6 will give you minus 10 certainly, but when you multiply them you will get plus 24x square, which we do not want. We want minus 24x square. So that is why we will go for these factors. So x square minus 12x plus 2x minus 24 equals to 0. We will take x common from these two. So we get x minus 12. We take plus 2 from these two. We get x minus 12 equal to 0. Again, if you don't get these brackets same, it means you have made some mistake in assuming or in taking the factors. It is very important to have these two brackets same. So we take again x minus 12 here, and we are left with x plus 2. This is equal to 0. Now when the multiplication of two numbers is 0, it means either this is 0 or this is 0 or both of them are 0. So if x minus 12 equal to 0, then x is equal to 12, and if x plus 2 equal to 0, then x is equal to minus 2. So these are the two values of x for this given question. Now let us go by the formula method here. So here let us remember our standard equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. If we compare the coefficients, we'll get a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 10 and c is equal to 21. Let us apply this here. So x is equal to minus, b is minus 10, so minus of minus 10, plus or minus root of b square is minus 10 square minus 4, a is 1, c is 21 upon 2 into 1. So minus into minus becomes plus, plus or minus root of 100 minus, this will be 84 upon 2. So this is 10 plus or minus root of, now 100 minus 84 will be equal to 16 upon 2. Now 16, root of 16 will be equal to 4. So now we will take in two parts, that is x is equal to 10 plus 4 upon 2 or 10, x is equal to 10 minus 4 upon 2. In this case, this will be 14 by 2, that is equal to 7, and in this case, x will be equal to 6 upon 2, which is equal to 3. So 7 and 3 are the two values of x for this given question. This we have solved by the formula method and this we have solved by the factorization method. Now let us understand the concept of nature of roots in quadratic equation. Our standard form of quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. Now we have a term called discriminant, which is equal to b square minus 4ac, where b is the coefficient of x, a is the coefficient of x square and c is a constant. Now this discriminant can have three type of values, that is d can be more than 0, d can be equal to 0 or d can be less than 0. Now in case d is more than 0, the discriminant is more than 0, then we say real and unequal roots. By the word roots here we mean that the value of x. So the value of x will be different and they will be real. In case d is equal to 0, it means the roots are real and equal. In case d is negative or less than 0, then we say no real roots. So even without solving, we can tell about the nature of roots using this discriminant formula, and if it is less than 0, it will be no real roots, equal to 0, it will be real and equal, and if it is more than 0, then real and unequal roots. Now let us take a question to understand this concept better. Now this is a very important concept for your board exams. The question is, find the value of k for which the equation 4x square plus 8x minus k equal to 0 has real roots. Now it is just mentioned here real roots. So we will go for the case of d is more than or equal to 0. Because if it is more than 0, it is real and unequal. If it is equal to 0, it is real and equal. Here we have not been specified if it is equal or unequal. So we will take the case of d is more than or equal to 0. Now d is b square minus 4ac is equal more than or equal to 0. Our equation is 4x square plus 8x minus k equal to 0. Here a is equal to 4, b is equal to 8 and c is equal to minus k. We'll put these values here. So b square, that is 8 square minus 4 into 4 into minus k is more than or equal to 0. Now this will become 64 minus into minus will become plus. 4 into 4 is 16k is more than or equal to 0. This 64 will go on the other side. So 16k is more than or equal to minus 64. Therefore, k is more than or equal to minus 4. So k can have any value which is more than or equal to minus 4 for this equation to have real roots.